The process of holotropic breathwork, as I mentioned, the origins stand actually from the Czech Republic. He did a lot of work in the Czech Republic with alcohol addiction originally. And he gave his patients LSD for therapy and sat there and recorded their whole experience for the 8 or 10 hours from a research kind of model. Found that they had some early childhood traumatic event, sexual abuse issue that they had never shared with him in a clinical session. And subsequently, he began treating them in clinical session for what had come up and found that the alcohol addiction disappeared. And he said, wow, what I've done is I've gone back to some prior life event and treated that behavior, treated that event, and the alcohol addiction disappeared. So when he came to the States, obviously, he found that using the breath could achieve the same kind of experience. Many people call the breath work a rebirthing experience, hyperventilation. It's a little different because in a rebirth, typical birthing experience, the rebirther is telling you how to breathe. Breathe in twice through your nose, exhale out your mouth, inhale through your mouth, exhale out your nose. They're telling you to breathe faster, to breathe deeper. In this process, your only instruction is to breathe deeper and faster. Stan Gross says, breathe until the breath is breathing you. I often tell people back in the day, we had water pumps, and if the water, you weren't getting water, you would unscrew a little screw, pour some water into the pump, that would prime the pump, and the water would start going through the pump. So I think this is kind of similar, that you start breathing deeper and faster to prime your body for that rapid, deeper breathing, and then your body just takes over and does it all by itself. That's going to be different for every individual person. Basically, you lay on the floor on your back with your eyes closed and you breathe deeper and faster. It's a 3-hour session. There's a 3-hour set of music, evocative music. It's all mixed together, so it's blended, so it's like one song that's 3 hours long. The first hour of music is real driving and penetrating. It's lots of drums, didgeridoo, music from indigenous cultures around the world. The second hour of music is also very driving and penetrating, but it's more full, it's more soundtrack quality. Then there's a peak emotional piece of music and like a breakthrough piece of music. And then the last hour of music is more gentle, subtle, nature sounds, Gregorian chants. So the whole process is to let go and become more free. Let go and allow the breath to breathe you. Let go and become more free. It's as if we need to surrender to our inner self. Your own inner healer is going to provide you the experience that you're due to have. If you come in with some plan, that's all comes from ego. And as soon as you start breathing deeper and faster, the ego gets kicked out the door, and your own inner healer provides you the experience that you're due to have at that particular time. And during or at the end of breath work, the holotropic breathwork session, we do a little body work, and it's not like you would have think of typical massage. It's more like a pulling or pushing motion. Sometimes people will feel an energy blockage in their shoulder. And so to help them with that energy, we would hold their arm or their hand and have them push against us or pull against us to release that energy from the shoulder or wherever else in the body they may be experiencing some energy blockage. And then there's mandalas. Mandalas are a drawing. You take a blank sheet of paper, it's got a big circle on it, and they're different art media, paints, chalks, crayons, pencils. It's a way for you to express whatever your experience was in physical form on the paper. Much as you would have a dream and you would journal the dream, you have this experience, which is non-ordinary, extraordinary experience, and you honor it in physical reality by drawing it. You don't have to be an artist. You can do the drawing with your eyes closed. You can do the drawing with your non-dominant hand. It's just a way, again, to honor the extraordinary experience in physical reality. The experiences that you might have during holotropic breathwork session are totally unlimited. You could have any experience in your current cartography, any experience which is called perinatal experience, or any experience which is of a transpersonal nature. Current cartography kind of experiences are experiences in this lifetime, anything from birth until today, something that happened to you when you were a child. It could be you could re-experience any event from birth until today, something that happened to you when you were 2 years old, 20 years old, and you might experience it just like it was happening. However, I think that you see it more from an observer point so that it doesn't, and you experience it differently, so it doesn't have the emotional charge that it had perhaps when it occurred, which is a real healing property. Then there are also memories that are triggered from earlier in childhood until today. All of those are things in the current cartography. The perinatal is actually a part of birth. Stan calls 4 different birth perinatal matrices. Birth perinatal matrix, BPM 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they show being in a blissful state, stuck, play, struggle state, or death and rebirth state. So you could experience anything from your birth. It might be in the BPM 1 or the blissful state, which is a primal union with your mother. You're completely taken care of. You're being fed and nourished as long as you're in a healthy womb and as long as you were wanted. It's a real blissful kind of experience. So you may have that experience on that doing your holotropic breathwork session. You may experience that total portion of bliss or that from that BPM 1 experience. Or in BPM 2, the water breaks and the fetus is pushed against the cervix, and it's like an antagonism with the mother. And it's a stuck place. The head is stuck against the cervix. So you may feel being stuck as you're doing your holotropic breathwork experience. And then you may have a struggle, which is a synergism with the mother, but it's an enormous struggle of all the muscles as the fetus is pushed through the birth canal, the contraction, all those muscles pushing the fetus through the canal. And then BPM 4 is like a death and rebirth sequence, separation from the mother. Suddenly there's a relief from the process and a reattachment to the mother at the breast. So those are all part of what Stan has classified as the birth perinatal matrices, or part of your birthing experiences. He says we live our lives the way we were born. He's done quite a bit of research in the whole birthing process and can oftentimes relate your experience on the mat to any one of these 4 experiences. And they may not, and they could all 4 happen in one holotropic breathwork experience. And they may not be in order. You may experience the death and rebirth and then the struggle and back to the bliss, or you could experience it all kind of different ways. We're, again, totally unlimited to the experience. There again are the 4 different birth perinatal matrices. Then there are transpersonal experiences, which are experiences within or beyond space and time, dual realities, or visits to other universes. There may be identification with others or planets or animals. You may experience a oneness with life and creation. There may be extraterrestrial experiences. There may be ancestral experiences or past incarnation experiences. There may be mythological or fairy tale kind of sequences. There may be embryonal or fetal experiences, psychic phenomena, energetic phenomena in the subtle body. You may have encounters with spirit guides or animal spirits, or you may have a universal archetypal kind of experience, cosmic consciousness, and some people have actually experienced a void. Contraindication, or times when you should not participate in a holotropic workshop, is if you have cardiovascular disease, if you have high blood pressure, especially if it's not being treated, if you've had recent surgery, because the rapid breathing, the deeper and faster breathing actually heightens your blood pressure and your whole energetic body. And so that could, if you had recent surgery, it could actually reopen some wound. If you have glaucoma or retinal detachment, that pressure behind the eyes is added pressure behind the eyes is also problematic. If you're pregnant, the holotropic breathwork experience can actually invoke the process of labor. So we encourage people who are pregnant not to participate in the process. And if they have any kind of severe mental illness, epilepsy, or seizure disorders, or if they've been hospitalized within the last 30 days, those would all be contraindications.